Hey there, my name is Jess Rappaport. I am the owner of Zelda Universe and the creator of Zelda Wiki. And these are my top 3 games from 2024, which is pretty easy for me because I pretty much only played 3 games in 2024. Specifically, I played Zelda games that I've never finished. It might surprise you, but for over 20 years, I had never played Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask. So, in 2024, I finished both. And I also finished Wind Waker HD, but we'll get back to that later. So you might be wondering, between Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, which one did I like better? And the answer is Majora's Mask. I loved Majora's Mask. I also loved Ocarina of Time, but they're really different games. Why do I love Majora's Mask? Well, my favorite Zelda game of all time is The Wind Waker. I love the emotional connection you get to the characters, the expressiveness in the art style, and I love that the story is focused on the emotions of those characters. So it's probably no surprise that Majora's Mask resonated a lot more deeply with me than Ocarina of Time. Ocarina of Time had a very specific job to be the first 3D Legend of Zelda, and that meant that its environment and its world was pretty generic, I felt. It had to be the save the princess, go through the standard dungeons, and I felt that the game itself was pretty long. Next to Twilight Princess, probably the longest Zelda game I've ever played. And with these Zelda games that get really, really long, I have the attention span of a peanut. And Majora's Mask, with its compact size, but filled to the brim with emotion and depth, really completely drew me in. You can see a lot of things that the Wind Waker pulled from Majora's Mask when you play through Majora's Mask. And I really appreciated the things that they took from Majora's Mask and put into the Wind Waker. But especially just getting all of that deep emotion and story out of the world in Majora's Mask. I love the self-contained nature and how it happens in a place that isn't Hyrule. The creativity in Majora's Mask is just, turned up to 11. Ocarina of Time is a game that I've tried to play over the years many, many times. And when I first became a Zelda fan after playing Wind Waker on GameCube in 2003, I actually joined the Zelda Universe message boards as a member before I became the owner. And a lot of Ocarina of Time fans did not like the Wind Waker. And that kind of led to my decades-long protest of playing it because I didn't like the Ocarina of Time extremists, if you will. We have my guest star Finn in the back, by the way. Hi, Finn. Love you. Guest star Finn. This is what cats do. This is what cats do. Ocarina of Time was also incredibly heavily dungeon-focused, and for me, I love exploring the worlds of Zelda. And so, with Ocarina of Time having a world that to me felt a little more generic, with it going from dungeon to dungeon to dungeon, and the dungeons were long, it's no surprise that I latched on to Majora's Mask. The dungeons in Majora's Mask were also a lot better, and they fixed a lot of the issues that I had in Ocarina of Time, like needing to figure out how to put blue fire in a bottle, which is such a video game logic kind of puzzle, which I understand Nintendo doing that for their first try at 3D. And I do massively appreciate Ocarina of Time for being what it is and for being the first 3D Zelda. But for my money, I have to give it to Majora's Mask as the N64 Zelda game that I like the most. Now, I also played Wind Waker HD. It was my first time playing the HD version of Wind Waker, which truncates a lot of the more tedious things in the Wind Waker and adds a graphical overhaul. But finishing it all the way through, Wind Waker is exactly how I remember it. It is such a joy to play from start to finish. The art, the expressiveness. I love that there's so much detail packed into an art style that seems simple on its surface, but holds so much complexity. You get so many great little features packed into the character designs that are able to support it, like Link having big, expressive eyes is able to look around the room and give you hints about what's going on. And the dungeons are so vibrant and creative, and it doesn't overstay its welcome. It's just the right length for someone like me. Again, attention span the size of a peanut, so Wind Waker is perfect for me. So, what was my favorite game of 2024? I gotta hand it to Wind Waker. Wind Waker's the GOAT. Sorry, Majora's Mask. It was no contest. Wind Waker is my absolute favorite Zelda game, and every time I play it, I am reminded of why it is the absolute peak of Zelda, even more than modern Zelda games than Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. I love the Wind Waker, and I've got to hand it to Majora's Mask for being a big surprise for me with how much I loved it, because I did think that I was going to like Ocarina of Time a lot more. That is my top 3 games of 2024. Playing Legend of Zelda games that I have never finished. If you want to see me play more Zelda games that I've never played before, because there are still a few, I'm going to be playing A Link to the Past over on my Twitch channel this year at twitch.tv/Jess Rappaport. And you can always find me on Twitter or Instagram or any other social network at Golden Chaos. And if you want to find Zelda Universe, it's of course zeldauniverse.net. If you want to find Zelda Universe on social media, on Twitch, it's twitch.tv/Zelda Universe TV, and on Twitter, it's at Zelda Universe. Thanks so much, and I'm looking forward to a great 2025.